I hope I'm going the right way. That's all I know. I hope that this is the right way. Ugh. Oh yeah, I got absolutely torn up. It was ridiculous. I mean, that was also 10 levels ago, in fairness. I mean, it's, you know... I have perhaps learned a bit in that time. God, I made that jump. Unbelievable. I'm unbelievable. Oh, do 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 do. Okay, so it's clearly not here. It's lovely. Ah, this is not it. EMC, am I going anywhere near the right way? Am I going near the right way at all? I really just want to get these tomes. Just keep heading south? Okay. Alright. As long as I'm heading the right way. Yeah, I'm right? Yes, I am. Ooh. Ah, okay. I remember this is one of the places they mentioned. Halansulan was one of the places they mentioned for tomes. Hey. Not hostile? What's up, Olafin?
Looks like you need help.
Oh. More undead. Charming.
Dead should stay dead, wouldn't you say, friend?
I would. What was all that?
Seems to be a lot of trouble in these parts.
Let's put it mildly. The war has stopped, but now the dead are walking. Funny though.
A Scottish elf?
I've been watching these undead and they seem focused on
Alright, good to see you, Frosty.
As if, well, why wouldn't someone want to kill humans, huh? Still, poor fools.
What?
Are you a Dalish elf?
Of course, you would have little experience with the people. Yes, we are Dalish. We've been camped for weeks in the fields to the west. The war between the lions made passage through the dirt difficult. Damaged some of our arable. If you find the clan, tell Keeper Howen I'll continue the hunt, and perhaps find a safer route through the plains.
What's the dearth?
That's what we call this place. The Dearth. Dearth of Arran.
Oh, I thought it was Dirt Havarin. My bad.
I must be going.
Very well. Be safe.
Okay. Still got more tomes to find. What? Shoot. This way. Chest here, get out of my way. You glitch all you like, but... There we go. An unsent letter. Let's see. Ganto, the last of the silks has been delivered, just in time. I predict the war shall break out at any moment. I shan't wait to be caught in this disastrous collision of noble egos. Be prepared to cast off as soon as I get to Jader Pareed. Okay. Alrighty. Hello, Rage Demon and Wolves. Oh, wow. Let's check this out. Who's going to win this fight? The Wolves took him down. Nice. Now stay in your cage like nice little wolves while I wipe you out. Oh, not quite. Cage them all and let Bull sort it out, I always say. What the hell was that? What the hell did I just hear? I must have been right on top of one of them. That was terrifying. I was like, room. I was like, Did you hear what happened to the other wolf? You heard what happened to Charlie back at the farm? No, what? Fen-Harel, the Dread Wolf. There is precious little we know about Fen-Harel, for they say he did not care for a people. Elgarnan and Mythil created the world as we know it, and Druel taught us the ways of the hunter. Siles and June gave us fire and crafting. But Fen-Harel kept to himself and plotted the betrayal of all the gods. And after the destruction of Arlathan, when the gods could no longer hear our prayers, it is said that Fen-Harel spent centuries in a far corner of the earth, giggling madly and hugging himself in glee. The legends say that before the fall of Arlathan, the gods we know and revere fought an endless war with others of their kind. There is not a Haran among us who remembers these others. Only in dreams do we hear whispered the names of Geldoran and Darnthal and Anaris, for they are the forgotten ones, the gods of terror and malice, spite and pestilence. In ancient times, only Fen-Harel could walk without fear among both our gods and the Forgotten Ones, for although he is kin to the gods of the people, the Forgotten Ones knew of his cunning ways and saw him as one of their own. And that is how Fen-Harel tricked them. Our gods saw him as brother, and they trusted him when he said that they must keep to the heavens while he arranged a truce. And the Forgotten Ones trusted him also when he said he would arrange for the defeat of our gods if only the Forgotten Ones returned to the Abyss for a time. They trusted Fen-Harel, and they were all of them betrayed. And Fen-Harel sealed them away so they could never again walk among the people. From the tale of Fen-Harel's triumph, is told by Gisharel, keeper of the Relifaran clan of the Dalish Elves. That's nice. You know what I'd really like, though, is a Venatori tome. That would be really awesome. I would really, really like a tome. I'd really, really like a Venatori tome. Where can I find these Venatori tomes so I can become a Rift Mage? That's the way for happiness. Become a Rift Mage, more or less. Blow people away with my power. Well, that's what says your trainer. First I'm gonna destroy this Fey demon by zapping him in the face. Then I'm gonna make myself feel better when I'm finally gonna win this race. What's up, Taco Power? Well, it says Dread Wolf. Sorry, Stag. Okay, am I still on track, I hope? I really hope so. What's up, Crossin'? Ooh, that looks... Okay, first of all, that's always good. Another logging stand is nice, although what I really need is another quarry. But that looks promising. Although that's probably just a Dalish camp, isn't it? Is that a Dalish camp? Oh, I'd be so excited if there were more Venatori.
The Dalish encampment.
Alright. Let's talk, Dalish people.
Please don't get too close to that. They're unused to strangers.
Oh, certainly I can understand that. I wouldn't ever get too close to the Hala. In no way have I accidentally killed 12 of them so far. And I'll be careful not to kill anyone here.
I won't disturb them. Rest easy.
Maceranus, I did not expect such kindness from a stranger. May I ask, Traveling these plains, have you come across a golden Helen? I fear human soldiers may kill her. If she would only draw close, I could gain her trust. I could protect her.
I've heard of a golden Halla. You call it Hanal Gillen, the Pathfinder.
You have heard the legend. I'm amazed. Yes. Some of us believe she comes to the people in times of great need.
Why do you think soldiers hunt your Halla?
Pelts and horns sell for gold.
I just keep thinking challah bread. Challah.
And if they were golden. Goodbye then.
Alright, lovely. I don't really care, but... because I want tomes. I want tomes!
Another time.
It's nice that I got a fast travel here. That's good. Alright, Nissa.
Elkanan, the stores are so low.
You look troubled.
You seem troubled.
It's
What's up, Lixon?
just our stores.
Head more toward the rifts. Okay.
During war and the demons, replenishing them has been difficult. For one, we're almost out of herbs, and we lack materials to repair the Aravals. I don't even remember. There's so much we're missing. It's all written in my ledger.
June, god of the craft. We dedicate all our crafts to June, for it is he who taught the people to bend the branches of trees to make our bows, and to fashion coverings of furs and iron bark. Without June, we have the Aravel or the harnesses for our Hala. Hala! When the people were young, we wandered the forest without purpose. We drank from streams and ate the berries and nuts that we could find. We did not hunt. Oh, that's cool. Really, Taco? I didn't know that. That's cool. We drank from streams and ate the berries and nuts that we could find. We did not hunt, for we had no bows. We bore nothing, for we had no knowledge of spinning or needlecraft. We shivered in the cold nights and went hungry through the winters when all the world was covered in ice and snow. Then Siles the Hearthkeeper came and gave us fire and taught us how to feed it with wood. June taught us to fashion bows and arrows and knives that we could hunt. We learned to cook the flesh of the creatures we hunted over Siles' fire, and we learned to clothe ourselves in their furs and skins. And the people are no longer cold and hungry, as told by Gisherol, keeper of the Ralafern clan of the Dalish Elves. Okay, lovely. That's your journal, no doubt. This is Ledger. Oh god, Spindleweed. Fetch quest. No!
You were the one they called the Herald of Andraste.
Yeah, it wants to know.
I've heard so much about you and your Inquisition. There's talk, even amongst the Dalish.
People talk about me?
Ah, talk. What do they say exactly?
Well, the clans are worried about what this might mean for us. The Dalish, that is.
Are the Dalish
No
ever
matter
worried
what
about
they say,
anything other than what it
your
means for them?
Inquisition is the only thing trying to help the world. I wish I could be a part of that.
Sounds like a volunteer.
It won't happen. Keeper Howen won't allow it. He doesn't trust anything to do with the Chantry or Andraste.
I could try to convince your keeper.
You could try.
Okay.
I'll take my leave.
So we gotta talk to Haven. Or Holland, rather. Which I will do right now. Need to talk to you anyway. Whoa, wait a second. What? Oh my god, I already had it? That's right, I have 1,000 things of spindleweed. Elf fruit. God damn you. How much elf fruit do you need? Someone took canine leather without my permission. I have all this stuff. I'm just running back and forth, just like auto-influence. Need more iron. Got that too. Anything else? Great bear fur. I don't know that I have any great bear fur. No, I don't. Alright, well that you're out of luck. Alright, Keeper, what's his face?
Harold, you return.
Let's see. I met one of your hunters.
I met one of your hunters. He's continuing to look for a safe route.
Trusted you to pass the message on. That speaks well of you.
Dalish favor increases. That man wishes to join us.
One of your clan wishes to join the Inquisition.
You may continue to. I will not let Lorna leave with you. Not when I'm uncertain of your intentions.
Alright, let's chat. What is the dearth?
Why do elves call this plain the Dearth?
When the people settled here, we called it Dearth of Erin. The promise. For the Dales were promised to us by Andraste. It's still the Dearth to us. Even if the Shemlin give it a name that recalls our destruction.
What has befallen your clan?
The Orlesian War has hindered our progress through the dirt. The armies cause rock slides.
I would think so, Taco. Wouldn't be my choice.
Destroy the Arabos,
You know?
making passage impossible. Precisely when the clan needs him most, my first, Tabin, defies my wishes and mounts an excursion to the Emerald Graves. And now, I've learned that the grounds of Bar Balanaris are infested by angry spirits from the beyond.
I can deal with that for you.
My clan and I would be deeply grateful if you could, and be mindful of the resting places of our dead. Bar Balanaris is sacred ground. Another time.
Okay. That's lovely. That's great. And does absolutely nothing for me in terms of getting tomes. But at least I have fast travel locations. That's good. Okay, so I keep going this way. I think is what you said. Keep heading towards the rift. Wait. Okay. Alright, I just want to grab, I want to try to grab this. I think once I can get this second tome, I'm going to go back to the War Council. There we go. Earn enough favor to recruit Lorinel. It's a lot of extra favor. Okay. And what I'm going to keep doing is 3 great bear pelts. Go to hell. I'm not going to go find great bear pelts for you. Pretty good jump. When I wasn't, I didn't realize I was going to do it. Okay. So the reason that we've needed more than one bot traditionally is simply because we need a backup plan in case one bot is down, i.e. right now. Like when Cambridge bot is not there, I sent him an email. I sent him a message and I haven't heard from him, so I don't know what the deal is, but, you know,
You're weird, Bull.
bots
You have all this
do
Kyun
things
stuff.
for you, you know?
Andraste is confusing.
I think you're confusing. How can you just pick and choose what parts you believe in?
There's real and there's really real.
Or, as normal people would say, real and not real.
I know what I said. I do.
Okay, so am I off the track then, EMC? Should I be going through here or not? Because you said to keep heading towards the plains, right? Where should I... Like, I'm... You have multiple bots that can disagree and fight. The Southern Rift. The Southern Rift. All right. Southern Rift? Where the hell's the Southern Rift? You mean this one? Are you talking about the one in the river? EMC? That's pretty cool, too, those statues. Bedding. All the beddings. That's not what I meant to do.
Harold, you return.
I also leave. Again. The Arcanist bot has got that covered. You guys need spindleweed. You could have... They're like, oh, I don't know where we're going to find spindleweed. Okay, okay. I want you guys to see something. I picked up my first spindleweed from this river. I have a ton of spindleweed before. From right here, okay? Watch. I want you guys to count this, okay? Here's the person who said to begin this whole little quest thing. I'm not really doing it, but I happen to have a bunch of the stuff she needed. She's right there. She's like, I don't know how we're going to get all this stuff. Here's where she is, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 seconds away. 8 seconds away is the spindleweed she needed. Because there's more spindleweed. And oh look, even more spindleweed. Are you joking me? You people are so freaking lazy. You can't walk 8 seconds to get the stuff you need? Really? Where will we find fresh water, Harold? Only you can track it down. I mean, come on, people. Why don't you use your legs, my God? Jeez Louise.
So you'll be careful when you throw all that fire around, yeah?
As long as you're careful where you shoot all those arrows.
You magic me, I'll put 3 in your eye.
Now we can live together in peace and harmony.
Right, Div? Exactly. God, the Fade Rift. Alright. Check out the stupid Fade creatures here. Ow. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. And tank guys. The Avatar is the only one who can do anything. Yeah, there are people, too, who seem to be incapable of actually getting, like, spindleweed that's 2 feet from their location. Okay. So I did that. Lovely. Alright, still looking for that other Venatori thing. Taco. Well, that's what I'm saying, though, is like, I just... Ooh. Have some free loot. Read. Here's the tome you need. No. Love letter. Roses are red, pansies are yellow. How are you doing away from your fellow? Oh, God. Dear Valerie, I wrote that for you. I hope you like it. Dear Albane, I didn't. Never contact me again. No. I'm deep in the usurper's territory, but have kept out of sight. One of my many talents. It's been hard, but the thought of you keeps me alive. I'll be home as soon as our Empress wins the day. Missing you, Albane. P.S. I know pansies aren't always yellow. I couldn't think of any other yellow flowers. That guy's a real winner. Time to take the nest egg. God, love. Spider totem. There better be Venatori over there. Oh, it's more wolves. I don't care about wolves. Show me Venatoris. Dear Valerie, I made you this mixtape. Again, saving the Hala. Oh, God, really? Ah, the mixtape. Hi. Who the hell are you? Who are you? Have you seen the Venatori? Because I need the Venatori. I need Venatori to kill so I can get me a tome. Am I still heading the right way, by the way, EMC? I hope. Am I still heading the right way? Is this still... I just took out the rift that was right in the middle of it. Am I still going the right way? The only good news is that I got the tome up there. If I can get this second one, then the rest should be easy because... well, I don't know about easy, but at least I know where the other one is. Holla. What do you say? What do you say, EMC? Your thoughts, sir? Nice, Xanos. This is a good one. I like it. Always go left. Yep. I do know the Xanos creed. Waiting for that delay. Am I still... I know. Well, I want to get this thing, man. I'm going to give you story time, but I want to get this thing. You punched him. I mean, Solus is fine. He's just a little... has no sense of humor, that's all. Oh my god. This one? Do you know this, MC, or are you trolling me? I'm gonna guess that you're not trolling me, but... Love these water effects. They did a really good job with the zone design as far as the look. You know, it feels environmentally right. Wait, do I have to go underground to get to this? What the hell is this? No. I'm not going in any goddamn cave. Wait. Do I get to this thing? Do I have to go underground? I'm pretty sure EMC wouldn't do that. But are you... Am I going through the cave here? Shrine to Soleil's. I saved it there, so if this is not correct, I can just reload it. Oh my god. Oh my god, Derps. Did that actually happen? It's right near the first two Dalish I meet. Okay, no cave. It's right near the first two Dalish I meet. Are you kidding me? I'd love it if that was a quarry. Oh, I need Veilfire for that. Go see what the hell the rune that thing says. This staff, I actually just got it from Val Royeaux. The revealed symbol showed appears to be Durthaman, the elven god of secrets, on the back of a large
part
crow.
of a larger set.
It's part of a larger set that I'll be expected to collect and won't because I'm not interested in doing fetch quests today. Foreman's logbook. The yellowed logbook contains records of the day-to-day running of a small silver mine. The most recent entries differ slightly from the ones that came before. 12 Harvestmere yield 11 crates. D-Crew broke through a wall and found a hidden chamber. Looks like a tomb. Gave orders to seal it back up. 13 Harvestmere yield 9 crates. D-Crew disobeyed instructions. Lead of D-Crew asked assistance of 2 from A-Crew to dig deeper into tomb. Lost 1. Gave order to seal chamber again. Emphasized unlikelihood of great riches within. 14 Harvestmere yield 4 crates. All of D-Crew and A-Crew missing in sudden collapse. 15 Harvestmere yield 0. Panic over elven curses. B and C crews inciting. 16 Harvestmere yield 0. New lowest record 2 days running. Men want to collapse the entire mine to prevent curse from escaping. Urging reason. I guess the reason didn't win. My god, another one of these damn rift fades. I swear to god, this thing better be here soon. Back over here, Bull. Now let's close this Fade Rift. Fade Rift's closed. I'm almost close to leveling here. Lovely. Okay. Alright. Where is it? Where the hell is this thing? Where is it, EMC? I just went to this second rift. What's up, Caged? Can I get a yo for 2015? So where now, EMC? I went towards the fate. Like, where am I? Where am I going here? I really want to pick up this tome and be done with this. I want to pick up this second tome and then go back to the war table. And as soon as I get back to Skyhold, I'm going to save it and it'll be story time. But before I do any of that, I want to get this last tome. Or this, I shouldn't say last, the second tome. What's up, Scotty Gratz? Right now I'm at about 54 hours, I believe. Just about 54 so far. Near this rift. Okay. Yeah, it's been fun so far. I'm just trying to pick up my Rift Mage thing. Scribbled message. Rosiel, if you arrive while I'm out foraging and left the herbs you asked for in the cleft of the rock near camp, get started on brewing and I'll see you for supper. Rabbit, Helen. Rabbit? Oh my god, stop with the wolves, man. Alright, again, I saved some people. I saved the hollows again. Alright. Slightly northeast. Okay. Well, hopefully somewhere around here. What's up, Funsesi? Why does the game look like a World of Warcraft? Demiser, what's up, man? It is a little MMO-y at times, yeah, and that's not, for me, that's not one of its strengths. Whoa, where are you going, Stag? That's not one of its strengths. Oh, what? Swear to God, if this is another wolf. That's not one of its strengths, but I think the game is actually better than that. And there's a lot of actual little positive, really good things about it that I like quite a bit. So, you know, you kind of got to stick with it and avoid... I think it's very important not to be... Am I going the... I hope this is right. Am I going too far? Please don't tell me I'm going too far. This is really starting to piss me off. I really want to find this damn tome and be done with this. This is too far. Other than the stupid fetch quest garbage, which I don't like. Fine. I don't want to keep seeing you as a red dot on my map. But other than that, I like it. What's up, G-Man? Better than Amalur, that's... yeah. What's up, Lixon? My god, so many of all the logging stands. So many logging stands. Oh, I did? Oh, sorry. Well, then you consider yourself greeted again, Lixon. Oh, thank you, G-Man. That's very sweet of you. I appreciate that. Well, I hope that people... Yeah, I know it, Cage, man. I know. I miss the hat. I really do. There's just a certain point where it just didn't make sense to do it anymore. Oh, where is this thing? Where is this... I'm just about 2 seconds away from just looking this up. Where is this tome? Where are these guys? I don't agree with this concept, by the way, of having a quest where you have to wander around forever with zero guidance. I'm not talking about showing me a big glowing exclamation point. I mean like an actual... I just killed one of you guys. What? Jeez, man. Hi, Dizzy. Welcome into the stream. Hello, Lee. Dizzy, welcome to the Arvanauts. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. And hi, Lee. Just like, I think since last session only, I switched. I am so close. I swear to God, EMC, if you are trolling me, I'm telling you right now, you will be banned for a week. I'm just warning you. If you are trolling me, I am not going to be happy. Okay. Where, please tell me where in the map I should be going from here. Am I going east? Am I going south? I mean, like, am I hunting pixies? Like, why is this hard? The first guys I found about 10 minutes after getting into the zone, and I ran right into them. But, like, what? Where am I going? Am I going straight to the right, and I'll run into them? Am I going southeast? Am I going straight to the right, straight down, straight left, straight up? What am I doing? Right, down, left, up. And by the way, I don't believe that EMC is trolling me. But I'm just saying, if he did, I would be troubled. This map that Shadow just gave me does not look anywhere close. That is not anywhere close. According to this map, what I'm looking for is there. According to map. What's up, holy truck driver? You're level 8. Should you attempt the quest and your heart shall burn? Oh, God. Except I don't remember what the your heart shall burn quest. I love you, EMC, but I don't know why you gotta play me like that, bro. I don't know why you gotta play me like that. If it's from random agents, then I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to do the specialization. Because I don't want to be forced into something I don't want to do, and I'm not going to wander around. It's the most boring thing in the world for people to watch. So, yeah, I don't actually know. I don't remember which one it is, holy trucker, to be honest with you, so... Okay, this is... So... looking at? All right, somewhere in here. As far as the leader of the Inquisition, I don't want to spoil it for you, Holy Truck, but if you're still in Haven, then not yet. Then not yet is all I would say. If you're in Haven, then it's going to be a little while. I found them right near that big tree next to you on the way to that south point on the map. I was following the same map from the Prima Guide. I don't get it, though. I don't understand. Oh, these guys look promising. Yes, these are Venatori. Yes. Die in terrible, terrible vengeance. Yes. Yes, these are Venatori. Please let these be the right ones. Thank you for the follow, Holy Truck Driver. Welcome to the Arvanauts. Thank you very much. What? This is their camp? Whoa. These guys have an interesting way of setting up camp. Not exactly the decor I would have chosen, but... Yes! Venatori Tome! No, I'm sure that EMC was not trolling, but I'm just wondering whether it has something... Oh, hi. Bastard wolf. No, I'm sure he was not trolling, but... So happy I found what I needed there. I'm sure he was not trolling, but it's possible it was from an earlier version, though, because a lot of the times the problem with the Prima Guides is that they sometimes operate on earlier versions of games that sometimes get changed a bit.
Oh, yes.
So.
Finding someone who needs killing and just taking them apart.
Yeah, no, he wasn't trolling me.
Skillfully. So their last living thought is realizing that I'm stronger and smarter than they are. Yeah, I like that a lot.
That's weird.
I didn't say it was healthy. Look, I can either press those feelings down until I snap and hurt someone I care about, or we can go find some bad guys who need to die.
Right. Bring on the baddies.
I love their banter. All right, cool. I did what I needed to do. Lovely. Wonderful. Wonderbar. Super excited about that. Now I'm going back to Skyhold, and I am not going to turn anything in yet because I promised a reading, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I am going to do, now that I've got two of them, because I need to go back to Skyhold to open that last area. Because they need to be obnoxious about things. So let's travel there. Oh, thank you, Inam. I used the wrong spell. You disintegrated the tome. That used to be an issue. As far as the level cap, Holy Truck, I don't know. It is possible to drop it from random agents. Yeah, okay. I don't know what the level cap is, because I'm almost level 15, and it's not that. And please, if it's going to spoil it for either me or for Holy Truck, don't tell us. But, like, is it a lot higher level than what I am now? Like, does anyone know what the level... Look at that awesome picture, by the way. Does anybody know what the level cap is, vaguely? So... Yeah, no, I appreciate it. EMC actually did a decent job of giving me sort of the general direction. So, it was fine. It was just the very end where I was like, nope. And the reason I'm willing to do that is because I don't like quests that... Again, I don't need big glowing exclamation points, but then there should be other ways to do it. When they're like, go find the following 3 random things that blah, 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 blah. You know? Oh, you know, ignore Xanos. Xanos has no idea. There's Inam. Good to see you, Inam. What's up, man? Happy New Year, by the way. Over 9,000. You guys are a big help. Thank you all. The Arvanauts, most helpful chat on Twitch. There is no hard cap, really? Okay. There's a soft cap of 20. Okay. Interesting. Okay, here we are. So we're going to save this in Skyhold. Lovely. Okay. It's a pleasure to help. I will bet that it is. Okay. All right, folks. So, as promised, we have played a little bit over 90 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick... what we're going to do is I'm going to take like a 5-minute break. Just 5 minutes. And then when we come back, I'm going to have a worldwide debut. This is the first time this has been read to anyone in the public of a new short story that I have that's going in an Origins anthology. And I'm going to ask for chat's opinion about whether or not this should be, whether or not we should keep this with this title that I have. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. And then after that, we'll go back to this. We'll play probably another... depending on when I get done with the short story, probably another half hour or so, finishing up the Skyhold stuff and becoming Rift Mage. And then tomorrow we will get back into some more of Dragon Age as well. But we're going to take a 5-minute break now, and then as soon as I am done with that 5-minute break, I will be back at you, and it is story time. So tell your friends, tell your distant relations. Short story time coming up in about 5 minutes. I will see you all then. Oh, well, hello, it's nice to see you, but I wouldn't want to be you. No, I'd rather be myself. Though I can tell you've got your reasons, and you're a good one for all seasons. You're just a picture of good health. Oh, but you see, I've got my own things, despite the problems that they all bring. At least I feel like mine to lose. I'd rather fight and lose my own wars and get to close my own doors. At least then I'm the one to choose. Well, this is on me, only on me, yeah, this is on me. Well, it's so very hard to be someone like me, yeah, someone like me, oh, someone like me. And in the time I built my own space, it comes to win my own race. In the time I found my home, you could have helped me in my travels. Instead you helped me to unravel. You know you played a kind of bold. Oh, in the home I hold my heartbeat. In the place I try to repeat all the things that worked before. Well, if you break it down as I did, and if you take me at my own bid, if you knew me at my core. Oh, this is on me, only on me, yeah, this is on me. It's so very hard to be someone like me, yeah, someone like me, oh, someone like it's nice to see you, but I wouldn't want to be you. No, I'd rather be myself. Though I can tell you've got your reasons, and you're a good one for all seasons. You're just a picture of good health. Oh, but you see, I've got my own things, despite the problems that they all bring. At least I feel like mine to lose. I'd rather fight and lose my own wars and get to close my own doors. At least then I'm the one to choose. Oh, this is on me, picture here? Why won't your image disappear? Have you grown angry yet? Well, you haven't gotten to that yet. Will you find my words in time? When you learn that you're not mine. But don't tell it, don't make it clear, 'cause I will still be here. Don't tell it, don't make it clear, 'cause I will still be here. Don't tell it, don't make it clear, 'cause I will still be here. Don't tell it, don't make it clear. Drift out of my high head, take my body instead. But your memory won't get gone. You won't let me break this bond. All right. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Here we are. Here we are, masters of the universe. I don't know why I just jumped into that, but it's a good song. All right, so welcome back, everybody. And welcome to the story hour, as I like to call it. So just a couple of reminders for people. First of all, if you are new followers tonight, thank you so much. If you're new to the stream, welcome in. My name is Arvin Elleron. I play lots of different sorts of games, but I tend to focus on story and narrative focused games. So a lot of RPGs like Dragon Age Inquisition that I've been playing through. Games previous to that, like obviously the Skyrim game as well. Shadowrun Returns, games of that sort. Also adventure titles like the Arkham Knight series, or I should say, that's Freudian slip because I want Arkham Knight to be here. But the Arkham series, including Arkham Knight, which will be coming up, games like Thief and things like that as well. And I'm looking forward to some more interviews as well in the new year, hopefully starting with the folks from Obsidian who are doing Pillars of Eternity, which I am really excited to play and to show all of you guys. That's going to be coming up as well. What did I just get? Hold on. Hold on. My headphones just did something screwy. Hold on a moment. What's going on with my screwy headphones? Hold on a moment. Thank you. All right, hold on just a second, guys. Felt like something screwy just happened with my headphones. Hold on. Let me test something. No, that's working. Okay. I don't know what that was. That was weird. Anyway, but I am, yes, so I play all those sorts of things. Looking forward to Pillars of Eternity, which I played at Gen Con and which looked great. And also do a Fighting Fantasy Gamebook series with chat. So I'm going to be doing... Okay. And then OBS sort of froze on me. Is everything okay, computer? Good. And then I'm going to be playing through the Talisman of Death, which is the Fighting Fantasy game book next in our game book series. And I also play a Dungeons & Dragons stream on here as well. And in addition to all of that, I am an author and occasionally do short stories on here. I mean, I do short stories, short stories and novels and things like that is one of the things I do because I write professionally. But every so often I like to share them with chat, and I'm going to be doing that today. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, a follow would be much appreciated. I am trying to work towards partnership. The hope is that we're going to actually reach partnership hopefully sooner rather than later. I hope. I feel like the channel's ready. But we're continuing to move forward. The follower numbers have been good, and general turnout has been good. And so, yes, I believe that I actually ended up getting about, if I'm not mistaken, I think almost 1,400 followers last year. 14 to 1,500 followers, something like that. I had maybe 1,100 followers, I want to say, January of last year, and now I'm standing at about over 2,560 at last count. So that's what we're looking forward to as that. So if you want to be able to see and hear more about any of that, please to follow the stream would be much appreciated. Okay, now this one that we're about to hear right now, and I think what I will do is I will play we'll play some music here in the background, possibly. Let's do something about some Dog and the Vampire, maybe. But I'll turn it down. I'll start with that. Okay, let me know. I want to make sure that that's quiet so that people aren't getting distracted. So this song this story that you're about to hear is, as I said, a worldwide debut. It's never been done before. The title of this story right now is tentatively called Latitude and Longitude. It was written for an anthology, the theme of which is called Space. It's going to be released at Origins. That's too loud. Okay, I want it to be really quiet. All right. So this is Latitude and Longitude for an Origins anthology. Origins, again, is a game convention which has a serious writer's track of speculative fiction in Columbus, Ohio. I highly recommend it, by the way. If you haven't had a chance to be there and you're anywhere in the U.S. Midwest, good thing to go to. That and also Gen Con in Indianapolis, which I recommend even more highly. That's really awesome. But either way, if any of that sounds cool and interesting, then you were in the right place. So this story that I'm about to read is called Latitude and Longitude. And again, I like the title but don't love it. And so as you guys are listening, if you have a thought about an alternate title, then definitely I will be happy to take some suggestions afterwards. That has actually been done by my chat before. There have been times before when chat has decided to help me out with suggestions on my, I've asked them for help on a title on a previous story, so there is some precedent for this. Yeah, if you guys were able and willing to do that, that would be lovely. So, with that said, folks, people, are you ready for the short story hype? Are you ready? Are your bodies ready? Are your minds ready for space story hype? And also, is my voice okay relative to the music? Is it loud enough? Nice. We're all stuck in our... See if I can reset my camera here. Okay. Talk more. Yeah? Okay. Your /fic version, Latitude and Longing. Nice, Demiser. Alright, here we go. And if people come in during the stream, by the way, I'm not going to interrupt the stream to thank anyone or, you know, say thanks to anybody as I'm not going to interrupt the story. So I want to kind of read it straight through. So if anybody comes in and asks, what the hell is this? If somebody could explain what the hell this is, that would be appreciated. All right, here we go. The music could be a tad quieter. Okay. God, that is low already. I mean, it's at 2 right now. Let's see. Let's switch that down farther. We can get more fine control here. Okay. Okay, how's that? Is that better? Yeah, I know, but see, the problem is, Shadowed. The reason I don't want to do that is because I don't want to start getting into stuff with Twitch about whether stuff is going to get auto-muted. This is why this... Anyway, I don't want to... If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. I just don't want to get into this battle about, like, what stuff counts as being auto-muted or not auto-muted. So, this is my music, so I know they can't do anything about it, so... But anyway, I hope that... otherwise, I would be happy to do that, but I can't do it because apparently they don't trust us, or whatever. Anyway... So, is this better? Is that better? Is that backed off now enough? Is that okay now? Is that better? It's like, it's all Gucci now? Okay, cool. All right, here we go, people. Latitude and longitude. Arden Kaborian, first cartographer of the Marakath Imperium, dropped to 50% thrust and pushed his cloud skimmer lower. The sky ahead was ominous, and he still had 3 quadrants to cover in the next 2 hours if he was to get the draft back to Jeln, who would no doubt be as impressed with his thoroughness and precision as always. That is to say, not at all. Things hadn't been the same with Jeln since New Hades, really. That job was impossible, with constant earthquakes and volcanic eruptions on the surface, and even Jeln had to grudgingly admit that it wasn't Arden's fault that a third of the largest continent on the planet sheared away in less than a month. No one could have mapped that damned hellscape and expected anything usable from the business. It was beyond Arden why the Imperium had even bothered to take the time to capture a planetoid in its death throes. But they had, and Arden had been asked to do the impossible as a result. Providing the improbable instead wasn't good enough. A peal of nearby thunder rumbled through the frame of the ship, and with a slight start, Arden broke from his reverie to see several flashes of lightning half a parsec ahead, higher now that he had moved lower in the sky, and not dangerous in any case, the 4 external energy shunts extending from the front of the skimmer and gracefully sweeping in pairs over each wing towards the rear of the ship, looking not unlike the curves of the canyons on Esabin, were designed so that the cloud skimmer could take direct lightning strikes and, other than some spare energy added to the reserve tank, barely register the occurrence. But the storms here wreaked no end of havoc with the geomatic interpolator, which was sensitive to variations of light and magnetic frequency. Too sensitive, as Arden had angrily informed Jeln and anyone else who would listen, since the new model had been installed in the cloud skimmers. "You're the only one who complains about it," Jeln had told him loftily during his last angry rant on the subject. The truth, that no one besides Arden had the standing, or the stones, to complain about much of anything to the higher-ups, much less to Lieutenant Captain Elbis Jeln, the head of all of the Imperium's advanced survey teams, didn't change the fact that the GI still glitched at the slightest provocation. Another jagged stream of lightning off to the left of the skimmer, closer this time, shot down from the sky to impact the ground far below. Arden sighed angrily and jerked the control stick downwards, directing the skimmer even lower. "Recorder logistics log," he barked. 3 annoyingly pleasant tones sounded in a rising sequence, signaling the recorder's readiness for input. "Electromagnetic storm interference requires a low survey path," Arden said. "Expect a delay of several hours as a result. Recommend future mapping missions on Revelair be conducted with Dreadnought-class survey vessels to reduce potential delays." He stopped and thought for a moment, then, "Amend previous statement. Recommend determination of necessity of any future mapping missions on Revelair prior to their assignments, and further recommend they be conducted with Dreadnought-class survey vessels to eliminate potential delays and flight risks. Anticipate significant increase in efficiency due to faster survey potential and safer flights. Append log entry to survey report to Lieutenant Captain Jelm. End log entry. He bit off the ends of the last 3 words venomously. The recorder, which serenely played the 3 descending tones acknowledging the end of the log entry, couldn't recognize annoyance, frustration, or any other emotion, but the person hearing the log entry later certainly could. There was 0 chance that anyone would actually stop using skimmers for missions like this, and saying so wouldn't do much to add to Jelm's already low opinion of Arden as a glorified scout who had lucked into more than his fair share of prime missions and barely managed to avoid botching them, somehow earning a promotion into the bargain. But Arden didn't care. It wasn't much more effective than yelling at the storm, but if it irritated Jelm a little bit, it was a small victory. The skimmer was now low enough that the weather above wasn't likely to interfere with the survey, and Arden sighed again before turning his attention to the matter at hand. "Mapper on, wide band," he said, waiting for the obligatory 3 tones of acknowledgement for the computer. Then, "Camera, ground survey." The 3 tones sounded again as the cockpit darkened and the skimmer slowed, and a 3-dimensional array of colored lights winked onto the forward screen. Blue tracing out ponds, lakes, oceans, brooks, and rivers. Green outlining forests and grassland. Brown signifying desert and mountainous areas. Red outlining suspected areas of geothermal disruption. The darker the hue, the more extreme the geographical feature. Despite his annoyance, Arden let a small smile play across his face as he began to make the subtle maneuvers necessary to properly map a given area. These days, young cartographers on their first survey missions often had a great deal of piloting talent, but not nearly enough understanding of the contours and shapes of the land they scanned, and to Arden's mind, this was exactly backwards. He was a competent pilot, but he doubted he would win any of the cloud skimmer races most of the other cartographers engaged in. Illegal, of course, but popular enough that the Imperium usually looked the other way, unless a skimmer was destroyed during a race, in which case heads would inevitably roll. But the skimmer's array of sophisticated sensors and nav computer handled most of the flying anyway, at least at the altitudes they were meant to go. What the technology couldn't do, no matter what Jelm thought, was replace the combination of art and science a top cartographer combined in a survey run. Angling the ship to give the mapper the right angle to trace out the contours of a canyon, climbing or sinking to give the best possible picture of hills or mountains below. Satellites were expensive and treacherous. They were too high to detect fine details of the landscape, and too unreliable on planets like Revelair, where clouds and storms constantly disrupted scanning runs. So dreadnoughts and skimmers were still essential. For all sorts of reasons, resources, natural features, and borders all mattered, and all of them needed to be mapped. For another hour, Arden lost himself in the pleasure of making discoveries, shifting the control stick slightly as the mapper processed the land below, lights filling in the map's blank spaces. Revelair was in many ways an extraordinary planet. He had mapped thousands of planetary surfaces before. Many had taller mountains, or deeper valleys, or wider deserts, or denser forests. But he couldn't remember a place with so many things all in one relatively small space. Like the maps from fantastic novels he had pored over for countless hours as a child, imagining himself as a bow-wielding hero working through dense greenwood into the foothills and then mountainous regions where monsters of every type and description lived. This was the sort of place which had gotten him interested in cartography in the first place. Mysteries clarified, the wild unknown brought ever so slowly to humanity's knowledge. Suddenly an alarm buzzed inside the cockpit, and Arden jerked his head to the right to see a yellow warning light blinking a fault in the stabilizer system. If that's a major fault, he began to complain to no one, and then the skimmer began to sway gently from side to side in spite of his attempts to keep it level. 7 hells, he swore loudly, not caring that the auto-recording of a cartographer cursing during a mission wasn't going to sound good to Jelm or anyone else when this was all over. It was probably just a minor short in the system, but mapping was going to be impossible with the ship rolling like it was on water instead of air. "Comlink," he began, then stopped. He was already behind schedule. If he brought the skimmer back to the orbiting Reverence-class cruiser and got a new one, or even worse had to wait for repairs on this one, he'd lose at least 1 solar day, and Jelm would have his head. Arlen had a sterling reputation, but after New Hades... He thought for a moment later, then shook his head and set his lips in a firm line. Up ahead, not even a quarter parsec distance, the 3-dimensional map showed a large area of light green layered on darker brown from an earlier incomplete survey pass. A grassy mesa, almost certainly, and likely a safe place to make repairs. Mapper off. Camera standard front, he ordered, barely waiting for the acknowledging tones from the computer before tilting the control stick forward and gradually guiding the skimmer downwards. With luck, he'd have the repairs made in an hour, and the survey run could still be salvaged. And if I'm not lucky, at least I'll be able to hit the damn GI with a vibrohammer once or twice, Arden growled quietly. Not Imperial protocol, but damn satisfying. The skimmer handled the descent with ease, dropping down towards what was indeed a large, grassy mesa. Arden let the computer handle the landing. He could have managed it himself, but he wanted to concentrate on the area around the skimmer. There weren't many native species that lived this high on Revelair, and the ones Imperium cartographers had seen were mostly small, bird-like creatures. Respers, maybe? Or raspers? Arden couldn't remember the exact name. There were other people in charge of naming and defining various flora and fauna on new planets. All he knew was these ones were categorized as not dangerous. But he had surveyed enough planets to know that just like maps, ecosystem surveys could be incomplete or oversimplified, and he was no soldier. So as the skimmer touched down, the magnetic hover pads making barely a whisper of noise as they settled into the grass, Arden scanned the area around him for signs of life. And even when he found none, he double-checked his laser sidearm and set the ship's defensive system to automatic, then put on his respirator and toggled the cockpit latch. With a slight whoosh of inrushing air, the top of the cockpit slid smoothly open, and Arden clambered out onto the wing, then down onto the ground. The high grass swayed gently around him as he looked up at the reddish-gray sky, dual suns gradually beginning to set over the horizon. In a way, it was too bad that the atmosphere wasn't a little more hospitable. The temperatures were only about 10 degrees warmer than Imperium standard, and the air, while thinner and more nitrogen-rich than the air of human normal planets, wasn't overly poisonous. By all accounts, Revelair was an agriculturally rich planet with potential for high levels of food production, but Arden knew the Imperium was much more interested in it for viridium and plutonium and platinum deposits in the mountains at each pole. In all likelihood, the first mobile factory depots would start to arrive in a year or so, and within 5 years, the Marikath Imperium's fabled efficiency would have converted Revelair into a full mining and industrial processing facility. Arden closed his eyes for a moment, feeling the warm breeze drift over his skin as the air from his respirator warmed in response to the outside temperature, then opened his eyes and permitted himself a wry smile as he turned back to his ship. "Work, First Cartographer, work," he said with a chuckle. Fortunately, the work was a simple affair. Just as he had suspected, the stabilizer array had a minor short in the system, and it only took him about 15 minutes of work with the sonic diverter to reroute the current around the break. Surprisingly sloppy job by the techs, though. It wasn't enough to put the ship at risk, but schedules were tight for a reason, and who knew what else they were overlooking if they had missed something simple like this during the last inspection. Crouching next to the stabilizer array as he resealed the final protective plate, Arden had just about decided to add another log entry recommending a full inspection and overhaul of each of the Reverence's cloud skimmers, a recommendation which would probably turn Jeln apoplectic, when he heard a low alarm bell sound from the skimmer and turned around. Standing only about 20 clicks from him was a large bipedal creature holding a strange wooden hook, its leathery face and torso a web of scars. Arden nearly tumbled backwards in his surprise, fumbling to get his laser sidearm out of its holster, and after a few tense seconds he had it trained on the creature. But it did not move. It just stood there, gazing down on him. It was bare-chested and wore a simple set of leather pants, and its face was roughly humanoid in size and shape, with a thin, long nose, piercing blue eyes, and slightly pointed ears. A little like one of Vega Prime's Entar birds, Arden thought, though about 3 times the size and, well, obviously not a bird. For a few moments, Arden and the creature just stared at each other like that, the grass swaying around them. "Thurus Asinak," a voice said, and it took a moment for Arden's brain to process that it belonged to the creature. "What?" he managed to stammer. "Thurus Asinak," the creature replied and repeated agreeably, shifting the wooden hook it held from its right to its left hand, which Arden now noticed had 4 long, elegant fingers. I don't," Arden began, then suddenly remembered the translator module in the skimmer's computer. He had often wondered why the Imperium had insisted on fitting each ship computer with a translator, imagining it as a typical Imperium display of excess. But now he breathed a sigh of relief as he clambered slowly to his feet, the barrel of his sidearm still pointed at the creature. I'm going to turn something on in my ship to help me understand you. Okay?" he finished lamely. 7 hells, I'm not a diplomat, he thought to himself, but managed to keep his face pleasant, assuming it came across as pleasant and not threatening to whatever this thing was, which continued to look at him steadily. Arden had no idea what the protocol was for dealing with Revelair natives, but he doubted very much he was capable of improvising it. Still, the creature did not move as Arden slowly climbed up onto the wing of the skimmer and leaned his head into the open cockpit. "Translator on," he said, and waited for the 3 rising tones to signal their acknowledgement before climbing back down to the ground. With luck, the internal speakers would be loud enough for each of them to hear the other. "Hello," Arden said. After a long pause, the word Faloran sounded from the cockpit. The creature did not react at first. Then, after a moment, Faloran. Again a pause before greetings echoed from the cockpit speakers. The translator, which worked on the basis of universal linguistic constants, was an extraordinary piece of technology, but its processing speed when first translating a new language was slow. "Furas Asinek," the creature went on, and after a few moments the translation came, "You are a seer." Arden looked at the creature blankly. "A seer?" The computer translated, somewhat more quickly this time, and the creature responded with a strange grimace, perhaps a smile, though it was difficult to tell through the scars. "A Sinek," it agreed. "Senid Fullen." A pause, then, "A seer. Me, too." Arden blinked. "My name is Arden Kaborian. I am a cartographer." "Shellen Kosril. A Sinek," the creature replied after hearing the translation. "Shellen Kosril. A seer." "What do you want?" Arden asked. "Knowledge, like you," Shellen replied through the translation. "I see the world and report what I see to the others. You do the same?" It took a moment for Arden to realize that the last sentence had been a question. Yes, I suppose so." Shellen nodded. "There are very few of us," he said through the computer's translation, the processing pause getting shorter and shorter each time. "It is a blessing to see as so few cannot." He nodded at the laser Arden was still pointing at him. "A weapon?" "Yes," Arden said, feeling oddly ashamed. "You came up on me suddenly." Shellen raised his hands, a gesture of apology. "It was not my intent, Arden Kaborian. I saw your vessel land and was..." The translator had some difficulty with the next word. "Curious." "Curious," Arden said his sidearm slowly. "Curious about what?" "We have seen your ships for several cycles," Shellen said. "Many of us wonder who rides in these ships and where they are from. Some of us are afraid of the riders. Others would speak to them." "And you?" Shellen shrugged. "I am a seer. I go to places few others will, see what few others do. Riders in ships do not frighten me." Arden nodded. "But how did you get up here without a ship?" Shellen almost immediately made his strange grimace. The computer was now translating in almost real time. "I climbed," he said. Arden's eyes widened. "Up here? By yourself? With no help?" "Yes," Shellen replied, his face contorting into what might have been an expression of mild surprise. Then he grimaced again and lifted the wooden hook he was holding. "The climbing hook," he replied. "We use it to get to places we could not normally reach, as you do with your ship." "I see," said Arden. "But my ship does most of the work when I fly. When you use the hook, you're still the one doing the climbing." Shellen shrugged again as if he did not see the distinction. "Your work is to see, as is mine," he said after a moment. "But what do you see? And why?" "I don't understand." "You and the others fly above the land," Shellen said, looking up at the sky. "I have seen it. Back and forth, cycle after cycle." He looked back down at Arden. "I wonder," the translator pausing at this last word, "what you see when there." Arden hesitated. "Many things," he finally said. "I survey features in the landscape. Rivers, lakes, mountains, deserts, forests. My computer records and maps them." Shellen frowned when the translation, mostly smooth except for the word computer, was complete. "Maps? What is a map?" "A map? It's a record, a document, a report on what I've seen, which others can then read." The frown deepened for a moment and then disappeared as Shellen's eyes widened in recognition. "A record? Yes, a record. We do the same. To see for those who cannot." Then his smile, quick to come, vanished almost immediately. "Do you report to those who cannot see? Other people?" "My superiors," Arden said, then hurriedly added as he saw Shellen's frown, "the people who give me my orders. The ones who instruct me where I should go to see things." "Orders," Shellen repeated, chewing on the word a bit as if he were trying a new food. Then you are told where to go? What to see? Yes, but, well, kind of, Arden replied, feeling a bit annoyed without knowing why. I serve. I signed up to serve as a cartographer, and my job is to survey planets. All sorts of different places. The scarred seer nodded thoughtfully, then turned and walked away. The logical thing to do, other than shooting the strange creature outright, which no doubt would have been Jeln's solution, was wait and hope for Shelyn to leave the way he had come, or jump in the skimmer and start its emergency launch sequence while there was a chance. But something in the back of Arden's mind told him to neither shoot nor run, and somewhat to his own surprise, he found himself following Shelyn. The seer walked with strong, purposeful steps towards the edge of the mesa, so strong that Arden briefly wondered if he was going to walk right off of it. But Shelyn stopped walking as quickly as he had started, right at the edge, and gazed into space. Arden came up alongside, if not exactly in line, giving himself a few more feet to the edge than Shelyn had. Sinek? Shelyn asked, sweeping one four-fingered hand outwards, and after a moment of confusion, Arden realized that they were no longer in range of the skimmer's computer or translator. But he knew Sinak meant to see, and so he followed the direction of the seer's hand. 7 hells. Everywhere Arden looked, he saw. A lush, verdant forest green swept over the hills far below him, strange birds calling as they soared over the tops of the trees. In the distance, a range of mountains with snow-covered tips rose, both restricting and protecting the land below it. To the far left, he saw a deep valley, almost a canyon, the edge of the forest spilling into the opening like a silent green wave. To the right, a mighty blue-green river carved a serpentine path through and past the forest's edge, heading towards what Arden thought might be a larger splash of blue in the horizon. The wind swelled around him, and Arden had to close his eyes for a moment as a wave of dizziness passed over him. After a moment, the sensation passed, and as he felt the ground steadying beneath him, he opened his eyes again and looked at Shelyn. But the seer was no longer looking either at him or the land beyond. He was crouched down, his climbing hook by his side, gently pushing aside the grass. It was much shallower at the mesa's edge than when Arden had landed his skimmer, and as Arden crouched down next to Shelyn, he noticed the seer's feet were bare, with 4 widespread toes which dug slightly into the earth. What? Arden began, but fell silent as Shelyn shook his head. The seer brushed away more grass, gazing intently at the ground. Suddenly he smiled. Sinek, he said, looking up at Arden. Arden stared at him blankly, then looked at the ground and saw dirt. Regular, normal, ordinary dirt. Earth and clay. I don't Sinek, the seer repeated, his gaze unwavering as his smile faded. Arden looked back down. Dirt. And suddenly a wave of anger struck him. 7 hells, why am I staring at dirt? First cartographer of the Marakath Imperium, decorated for superior performance over 30 times in an exemplary career, and I'm crouching next to some scarred madman who... And then, glaring at the ground below him as if he could bore into the dirt with his gaze alone, he saw something. Movement. Small, barely visible. He bent lower and saw... Had they called them ants back in the Terra system? No, some strange, tiny black insect with what looked like multiple legs and perhaps antennae crawling along the ground. No, not 1 insect. 2 insects. No, 3. Or 4. As he watched, more and more popped into his vision until he saw many of them crawling to and fro in the small patch of earth Shelyn had cleared. He looked up at the seer. Insects? He asked, but Shelyn shook his head with a touch of what looked like impatience. Sinak, he said, his intense blue eyes still fixed on Arden. Obediently, Arden looked down again, and for a moment was shocked, and surprisingly sad, to see that the insect had disappeared. But as he waited, he saw the insects again beginning to appear as before. First 1, then 2, then many others. And as Arden continued to watch, he saw more. The insects began to make patterns, shapes, lines. Then they began to crawl on top of each other, line by line, level by level. Then some crawled out onto the edge of the lines, one after the other, until soon Arden could see what looked like large living antennae forming, then wings. Finally, the new creature was complete, a large insectoid shape like a massive version of the tiny constituent insects which made up its body. Its wings, the insects which made it somehow held together, beat once against the air, then again, and Arden only had just enough time to pull his head out of the way as the insect lifted into the air and flew off, its dark shape clearly visible against the setting sun. Arden watched until the dark shape was too small in the distance to see. Then, his eyes wide with wonder, he looked at Shellen. The smile had returned. Sinek, Shellen said, with a nod, before standing and walking back towards the skimmer. Arden shook his head for a moment, wrenching his mind back to his own circumstances, then stood and followed. The light was now starting to fade fairly rapidly, and he would be due back at the Reverence within the hour. But that concern barely registered over the other pressing questions in his head, and he barely got within range of the skimmer's speakers before beginning to voice them. What was that I saw? Why didn't I see it before? What kind of creature... Shellen raised a hand even before the translation finished, though his smile indicated he had anticipated the questions. They are... Serelnak, he said, the computer repeating the last word without a translation. There are many of them, many more than we could ever count, on the ground, on all these mesas and other high places of the world. But you will not see them if you run past, even if you look quickly. They only become visible when you know they are there, and are patient. He looked up at the sky. The light fades, Arden Kaborian. I must go, and you will need to leave soon, I think. Arden nodded mutely. Shellen looked back at the skimmer. This is a good ship? It lets you see many things? Some things, Arden replied. But yes, it is a good ship. And you will report what you see to your superiors, the ones who told you what to see. He turned his gaze on Arden again. What will they do when they know? Arden hesitated for a long moment. I don't know, he said finally. My job is to report what I see. What they choose to do with that knowledge is their decision, not mine. Shellen nodded, then smiled. I am glad we have met, Arden Kaborian. See truly. And with no other warning, he turned and strode away. Wait! Arden yelled after him before he could leave the range of the skimmer's computer. Shellen stopped and turned. The record, Arden said, feeling oddly desperate. The record, like my maps, to see for those who cannot. Where do you keep it? Can I see it or find it? The seer frowned, then smiled widely as understanding dawned in his eyes. You have already, he said, and pointed to his face, his body. And then Arden saw, his eyes going wide with shock, that Shellen was pointing not at his face and body, but the scars upon them. And in the scars, like his computerized map, Arden saw ponds, lakes, oceans, brooks and rivers, forests and grassland, desert and mountainous areas. Shellen let him look for a moment longer, then raised his hand, turned again, and marched to the edge of the mesa. With a swift motion, he turned, smiled, and hopped backwards, lifting his climbing hook as he did so. Arden saw the hook and Shellen's other hand catch securely on the edge of the mesa. And then, with a sure movement, both were gone. Arden clambered into the cockpit of the skimmer, paying little attention as the computer ran its quick diagnostics, all of which came back nominal. He lifted off the mesa as softly as he could and hovered above it for a few moments. The storm far overhead had already passed, and as the light faded into darkness, he could just make out a few of the brightest stars beginning to twinkle in the canopy of the sky. An amber light blinked repeatedly on his forward screen. A missed message, probably from Jeln, wanting to know where in the Seven Hells he was and where the survey results were. And there, somewhere below Arden, Shellen Khosril was finishing his downward climb. And the Serelnak and many other things down there somewhere. Arden increased thrust and pulled back on his control stick, and the skimmer smoothly climbed into the air as it flew. Probably 30 minutes to get back to the Reverence, and then... what? Computer, Arden suddenly said, then stopped as the 3 ascending notes sounded. Seven Hells, why bother? Someone else will come and then he thought of Shellen's scars, the living map on his belly. Delete current survey results. Reason... He hesitated, then smiled. Incomplete data. Survey equipment inadequate. Crosslinks to previous log entry recommendations. Personal authorization, Arden Kaborian, first cartographer. Then he increased thrust to maximum and felt the skimmer, like the Serelnak, soaring in the wind. The end. That's it. Dharma Kanjala to Tanagra. Yeah, one of my father's favorite episodes of that show. Scars of Sight. That's not bad. It's not bad. Thank you, Xenos. Mapper, I hardly know her. You do like latitude and longitude? Okay. Now you can poo. Thanks, Dave. Thank you, Dragon. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's the anthology theme is space. So I decided I could hit that from 2 different angles. Oh, thank you, Apples. I thought I could hit that. Thank you, Shadow. I thought I could hit that from a couple different angles. I thought I could hit it from space as in outer space and space inside. Thank you, Lee. So, yeah, so latitude and longitude. Thanks, CMC. Well, thank you, Mercurius. Good, I'm glad you liked it. Thanks, guys. I wanted to, first of all, that was a worldwide debut of the story. You guys will be seeing that. If you come to Origins in Columbus, you can get that anthology and I can sign a copy for you. Just saying. Oh, you're welcome, Viking. Thanks, Thorg. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you liked it. We'll get back to the game in just a second, but so Latitude and Longitude, that was the title I had. I know that Dear Dragoon said he liked that. There were a couple of other good suggestions I saw. The Scars of Sight one's not bad. Thank you, Viz. Is Latitude and Longitude, what do you guys think? Like it as a title? It's the only thing I wasn't sure about. It was the only thing I wasn't sure about is the title. And I'm going to find out from the editor what she thinks also about whether, you know, keep the title or change it, but... Sextant to the Stars. That's not bad, Caged. I like the map concept there. I guess the only issue, though, is that he doesn't use, like... He thinks of things... He's a cartographer. Like, he thinks in terms of maps. Like, even the sort of, you know, the image that he has of the curves, like something reminds him of the curves of a planet. He's always about looking like at the top down. Of course, he's never close enough to really see it, which is part of what Shellen is trying to learn him, but is trying to teach him. But so, you know, he's always on planet side though, you know? Like basically he travels with these ships from planet to planet, but when he gets there, he's on the surface basically doing that kind of stuff. What's up, Strike? Yeah, I was worried about that, Dragon, that was generic. Well, hopefully it'll be released down a while. Yeah, she's also married, Xanos, so much for that idea. Prime Meridian. Hey, Kais, what's up, man? Oh, well, thank your girlfriend, EMC. I appreciate that. Scanning planets, basically. Yeah, he's actually, it's like Mass Effect 2. His job is to just press a button and then it goes, probe launch. Boom! Anomaly found. That's the whole job. But all right. Well, I will keep that in mind. I will ask her, and I take your point that it's not super fascinating, which either is a good thing, or like there's like for example, when I read you guys the story about Aldana and the wolves, and I called that No More Empires. That has a direct connection to the story, and I also really like the title. The story Sanction. A lot of that story is about Sanction. Caretaker of Mire is about finding the Caretaker of Mire. I was not sure about what to do with the Lost Sweeper of Kalden. The Pressel's Last Call, same thing. I wasn't sure what to do with the Lost Sweeper of Kalden, and you guys helped me come up with a suggestion for that. So this one, I'll think about Scars of Sight. I'll think about something with Sextant and Stars. Prime Meridian, that's not bad, except I don't know that we ever... I'd like it to have something where it's not just something vaguely map-related, but something tied into something that happens in the story. But, I don't know. Poxel Planet. Thank you, Durable. Mass Effect skins too. Lost Topo? Or Lost Topography? Some good thoughts. Some good thoughts. I'll see what I can do about that. But anyway. Thank you guys again. I appreciate very much you guys listening along with that. And, alright, so we are going to be on here for about another half hour as promised with the game. And then I have 2 giveaways tonight, and then I'm going to send you guys in a raid, and I'll be back with you tomorrow for some more of either Divinity Original Sin or Dragon Age Inquisition. So that's what we're looking at as well. The fact that the name is Plain mixes without playing the character looked at the end. Oh, realized what he was like. Yeah. Because that's the thing, right? Is that Arden is passionate about mapping. He just doesn't realize that what he's catching is not the layer of what matters. You know? if you're just above the planet all the time. Because one of the sort of motivations for this story, I'll be able to stop this song in just a minute. Let me up this a little bit. This song is just about to end, so hang on a second. Because he never gets to see stuff. Calligraphy, cartography, yeah. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that I got that in there. Stop, please. So the motivation for this is if you do any study of empires and the way that empires work, I actually have a novel. It's not the one I'm working on at the moment, but I have a series that I'm probably about 18 to 20,000 words into called Sunrise and Empire, which deals with this subject a little bit. And I'll come back to it at some point and do more with it. But one of the things about an empire is that you need to categorize and map and name. And if you do some looking at the history of empires, any empire, the Roman Empire, Alexander the Great's empire before them, the Ottoman Turk Empire, the Ottoman Empire, or even if you look at an empire, a more modern one, like, say, the British Empire in Ireland, often what would happen is someone would come in and they don't keep the old names. They don't keep the names of the places. They immediately cover them over with British names. And they do that for a reason. They do that because they don't want people to maintain a national identity. They want people to become assimilated into the imperial culture, right? And become part of Rome or England or the United Kingdom or whatever, right? And so what gets lost then is that a lot of people miss the sort of significant features of a place. You know, they map it by, like, essentially flying over it, you know, metaphorically speaking. George Bernard Shaw wrote a play about this called John Bull's Other Island, where they talk about this. So, and Brian Friel's translations too. So there's a lot of things like that. And that was sort of on my mind. And actually, the first moment I got this idea was towards the end of the school semester, the last semester, when it was super pouring. I was pouring rain. I was giving a final exam. And walking to it, I just had this image of this rain and sort of rain getting in the way of someone trying to map an area. That idea just sprang into my head. And from there, I kind of got the idea, what if I put this in space? And then the story just all sort of launched from there. So that's where I got the idea initially. And so you're right, Div, that definitely, his recognition is there. The other thing I worried about with that story a little bit is I didn't want the story to be about, the guy with the scars, Shellen. I didn't want him to be like what is called, there's a term, a literary term called the magic Negro. And what it refers to is a white man goes to, usually a European, goes to some place. And the magic Negro character is this, like, really, wise, gifted seer who's a member of the native peoples. And he manages to tell the white man everything the white man could possibly need to know, thereby teaching the white man not to be a bad guy anymore. But he hasn't actually gotten the white man to really understand his culture. All he's done is teach him, look how strange and novel and amazing we all are. Okay, that's the basic concept. And this happens over and over and over again. In fact, this is Avatar all over. Like, this is one of the reasons Avatar is not a good movie, not a good story. Avatar literally does that, right? You send in a white guy, a white Marine, who goes in as his avatar, makes friends with this person, and then the only person who can save the natives from the big bad invading army is the white Marine who has to save them from themselves. And that whole trope has been done over and over and over again. I didn't want that to happen here, but I did want Arden to learn from Shellen. And so I had this idea of making both of them mappers, basically. They're both people who map the world, except Shellen does it on his body and his face, and Arden does it on computers. But they're not that different in many ways. It's just that, of course, Shellen is more patient than Arden is, and he can see down to a much sort of lower level as well. Hi, Build. Also. So it's basically those two things that really kind of comes into play. So anyway, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I mean, I was trying to avoid it, Arcbound. It's impossible to totally avoid. I mean, I could have just done it, because the other thing I don't want to do is, I don't want him to just fly around the planet and then land on the mesa and then randomly look down and be like, oh, what's that? And then he looks, he's like, oh, those are ants. He's like, oh, it's a creature. I can't do anything to this planet, right? I don't want him to do that either, because then that puts all of the agency in the sort of conquering white guy, and I don't want to do that. So I wanted to think of Shellen as being like friends in a way, peers that would, colleagues really, that would learn from each other essentially. And that's the only thing that I was thinking about, was trying to kind of thread the needle. It's impossible to avoid it entirely, but I was trying to stay away from it to the degree that I could. So, with whatever success. Anyway, that is what I did. And I appreciate very much people sort of sticking with me, and I hope you guys liked it. So, now I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, yes. I'm going up into Skyhold. Going back to Skyhold, I'm going to Skyhold because I want to go to the War Council and turn in quests and so on, and open up the next area. Alrighty, summon the council. And as I said, we're going to be playing this for about another half hour, and then I will be doing 2 giveaways and sending you guys in a raid and bidding you all adieu. So that's what we are doing. Oh, my pleasure, Caged. And yeah, you know, as you know, I'm more of a fantasy guy than a sci-fi guy. But they asked for space, and I was like, I'm going to have a hard time making a fantasy. And as it was, it's sort of a fantastic space story at the same time, you know. Have someone else tell him what he needs to see. Ah, but you see, the problem with that, Arcbound, is it depends on who's telling him he's awesome, right? He is awesome at piloting his ship and at doing 3-dimensional models from space. You know, not from space, from high atmosphere. He's great at that. He's very, very good at mapping topographical features, which if you were, you know, it would be like, he would be very good at flying a helicopter above New York and being able to show you where all the buildings are, right? What he couldn't tell you is what the buildings were built on. He couldn't tell you how the buildings were placed in terms of one had a stronger foundation than another did. And he certainly couldn't tell you about the people who lived inside the buildings. So part of what I was trying to show him was another aspect of seeing. He's not an idiot. He's very good at what he does, but what he does is very limited. And that was part of the point I was making. So, yeah, well, I thought about that. I thought about putting him in the ship also, Div. The reason I didn't want to do that was because, well, number one, the story was getting long. But number two, the reason I didn't want to do that is if I put him in the ship, number one, technically the skimmers are single-person ships. They're not designed for 2 people. Number two, it would have a whole bunch of crap that he would have to explain to Jelm. Like, they have an auto recorder in the whole business. So if some random person that's not him gets in the ship with him and he flies it, he's going to be in all sorts of trouble that would take a lot more explanation and suspending of disbelief. Like, he works for the Imperium. The Imperium doesn't screw around with their ships. Like, he gets away with some stuff because he's decorated. He's one of the top cartographers, but he can't get away with everything. So that was the other problem. And then the third thing was, that to me was sort of going to be more highlighting the difference about I'm technologically superior and you're this, but you're wise and I'm not. I didn't want to highlight that too much. So that's why I was kind of, thinking of it those terms. So, those are good thoughts though. The following is a let's see, expose the double agent. The following is a confession that I, Abernale Harris, known as Painter, when in the employ of the Inquisition, did betray our cause in exchange for promises of a title from the Venatori. Yeah, there is no prime directive for them, Thorg. God, you wish there was a prime directive, right? Let's see. I acknowledge the mercy of the Inquisition in acknowledging me in my life in exchange for secrets of the enemy, who I have now forsworn, and I willingly serve my sentence in prison. Abernale Harris is witnessed by Liliana Influence 30. Well done, Liliana. Nice work. Yes, some herbs. Made a trading deal with the merchant house in Denerim, though the herbs in question were shipped from as far away as Antiva. They're being brought to Skyhold now, Josephine. 4 spindleweed and 2 royal elf fruit, which I could have gotten in 5 minutes by myself. Those quests are so useless, but there was nothing else for her to do at the time. Alright, and Morven's arrived. That's what I'm talking about, EMC. Right, exactly. What's up, Lord? Mavrin and his clan entered the Silent Plains intending to settle where no claims currently exist. They were exceptionally difficult to track once they left the Imperial Highway. We have no word on their current location. Cullen. I bet I'm going to need to find out more, right? Maybe? Okay. So, gain access to Gillanane's Grove. Chief Engineer Bernadine's report to Commander Cullen. Initial inspection, Elven ruins, ancient, largely structurally unsound, mortar damp and crumbling, recent damage to load-bearing walls, claw marks. Task, clear loose rubble and reinforce collapsed passageway for safety. Requirements, 10 strong workers, 2 junior engineers, 2 guards for security, 3 wagon loads of squared oak beam, 170 kegs of brown ale, 5 golden rings. Okay, sorry. Alright, you've seen the report. Our workers can clear the path to the Crow Fens. Let's do it. That's not going to take any time, just power, and I got plenty of that. The passageway, gain access to Gillian's Grove. The passageway is clear and safe. Access to the Grove restored. 170 kegs of ale, not nearly enough for 15 hardworking Inquisition men and women. Chief Engineer Bernadine. Nope, I do not. I'm going to go there in a minute, but I want to do some other things first. Okay, good. Let's go over here and pick up some more quests, shall we? How about a routes for agents in Crestwood? Inquisition. I have moved some of my agents into Caer Bronach, the fortress in Crestwood. At the moment, the villagers prefer us to the bandits, and it is an excellent waypoint from Ferelden to Orlais. We can make it a rendezvous point for our messengers carrying sensitive information from either country. You're familiar with the caves underneath Crestwood. They run for miles, and if we excavate some passages, our agents could easily enter and exit the keep without being seen. Leliana. Can't do that. You can't do that. Can't do that. Opening these secret tunnels will let us evade any prying eyes that turn toward Caer Bronach. Alright, make it happen.
Let's see what we have.
Make it happen. Okay, Crestwood resources. Man, that's all I got, really? Except this other thing about Emprise de Leon, which I don't want to do yet. Man, alright. Alright, let's waste more time. Source of the herb Embrium, as well as the stone known as Obsidian. Now that the Inquisition has a camp established, forces can be sent out in search of deposits of these resources for transport back to Skyhold. Whatever's easiest to collect. Obsidian is rare. Alright, Josephine.
Inquisitor.
Go off on one of your busy missions. By which I mean you're really, really oh. Grr. Didn't mean to go back all the way. Gotta go back in. Back in. I have not seen Legend of Korra. I've heard of it. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I have not seen it. Is it an anime? Is it an anime or not? I mean, literally have only heard the title. Salted Plains resources. Excellent source of the herb Rash finds. Several Viridian mines in operation. Though convincing the locals to return to work might not be easy. Now that a camp is established in the region, Inquisition forces can search these resources and send them back to Skyhold.
The soldiers the Herald rescued from the Fallermire arrived an hour ago.
Thank the Maker. We need good news.
Our forces focus on finding Viridium.
Right.
Do it up. Mostly because I don't know what else to do with you right now. Alright, so now I have done that. That means I can fast travel there. With Sarah, Dorian, and Iron Bull. It's a cartoon done in a somewhat anime style. It's a sequel to Avatar. Oh, it's not exactly an anime. It's a sequel to Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, it's a sequel to Avatar: The Last Airbender as presented to us by M. Night Shyamalan in his movie, right? It's an M. Night Shyamalan sequel, right? Because I know he's the one who did it. I know he was the big, expert. Waiting. Waiting. 25 seconds. I'm disappointed, Shadowed. I expected more of a flipping out already. Oh god, love you, Shadowed. I was totally waiting for. Oh my god, they brought me right there. Nice, thank you. I was totally waiting for It's Grove, nice. I was totally waiting for Shadow's reaction. You went there. Oh gosh. I know all about the fact that Avatar that M. Night Shyamalan did is not the real thing, and it's terrible and it's stupid. What the crap is that? What is that? That did absolutely nothing. Whoa! You know what? I'm probably fine, but just in case. Nope. No R of Death. What if the movie was directed by Michael Bay? I don't totally agree about it being garbage, Thorg, because I do think that Sixth Sense was solid, although I think it's more gimmicky. But I 1000% agree with you that Unbreakable is his best film. And quite frankly, I don't even think it's that close. I mean, I think Sixth Sense is fine, but, you know, I don't think I should be worried about spoiling a movie that's this old at this point. But to be perfectly frank, if you don't at this point, I mean, it's based on a gimmick, okay? Like, Sixth Sense, it's a well-done gimmick, but it's based on a gimmick. Whereas Unbreakable, I think, is about much more than the twist. I think there's a lot more sort of emotional content to that movie. So I'm with you on Unbreakable. Oh, God, what happened? Oh, no, Rage. Rage! Okay, now this is where the last Venatori thing is supposed to be. Oh, God. Oh, God, that didn't work. I guess he's immune to static cage. Not a fan of creatures that are immune to static cage, gotta be honest. Damn, man, those things are tough. I would love to see some Venatori. Don't care about rifts. Yeah. Don't care about rifts. I want to find the Venatori.
Pretty. In a haunting, this archway might collapse on me at any moment, way.
Dorian. Aha! I think I found you. Yes, Venatori Rifters, you're gonna eat it. Gonna kill you right now, cause you need it. I need that tome, give me the tome. Gimme the tome. Where's that last tome? That tome, that tome, that tome. I've got that tome. Yes, I've got that tome. I got the tome. I saw the tome. And it opened up this home. I saw the tome. Okay. Lovely. Absolutely lovely.
You see how I took that one guy's head clean off? Fantastic, right?
Ew, parts are gross.
Really? You kill how many people and one little decapitation bugs you?
Killing, whatever. But when a bit comes off, it's not them anymore. You don't see that. It's like suddenly meat.
No. No, I've never seen that.
The banter. Okay. Exalted Plains, thank you so much for having given me what you needed. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to go to Val Royeaux and get the goddamn writings that I didn't get before because I was dumb. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, wait. I always do that. I was right the first time. Val Royeaux. Do it up. Corpus Christi in the 90s. I saw the sign. I opened up my mind. I saw the sign. If you wanted to get 90s flashbacks, Jeremy spoke in class today. While freezing, looking for those Venatori Brightons. Oh, yeah. Damn it, gotta find out who the hell... Don't remember who sold... That's not it. Mr. Vane by Culture Beat.